Okay, well, it's 9 o'clock, so we'll jump in and get started, and we might have a few more people jumping on here as well. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today focused on financing options for small business owners during this COVID-19 disaster. My name is Crystal Irons, and I'm the director of the Missouri Small Business Development Center at Missouri State University. And I really do appreciate everybody taking time out this morning to hop on this call and visit with us. A few quick Zoom meeting tips before we get started. Please leave your mics on mute as much as possible. We have several people presenting, and so we'll have multiple mics off of mute at a time, and that'll just help with feedback if everybody else mutes their mic. We will take questions throughout the presentation, so please feel free to be typing those as we talk into the chat box. And as we kind of do our little panel discussion here, I will throw some out, and then at the end of the session, I will go through and make sure that we've gotten as many of those answered as we possibly can have the time to go through. If you have any technical difficulty, as you just kind of saw, we can solve some of that through the chat box, and so put that there as well, and my team and I will try to help you through that if you're having any difficulty. If you are on video and your feed starts to cut out a little bit, you can always turn off your video part, your camera, and that may help you just a little bit. Okay, so we're also videoing this webinar, and then I will email, if all of you registered through our link, I will be emailing you a follow-up to let you know where that is and how you can access that if you need to come back to this and listen to any part of it again. So I am really pleased to have a wonderful group of lending professionals with us this morning. I know their lives are very busy, so really appreciate you guys taking some time out to visit with us and our small business owners on the call. Mark Claypool is with us from the Bank of Missouri. Scott Tennyson is with us from Guarantee Bank. I haven't seen or heard Galen yet with Justine Peterson. So chime in, Galen, if you're on the call. And then we also have two representatives with us from the U.S. Small Business Administration Springfield branch office, Ron Bassnett and Lisa Zimmerman. So thank you all so much for being on the call. As I kind of mentioned, this webinar will be a little bit of a panel discussion. And so we've got a few slides, but mostly it's about having our lending professionals really share what they're hearing from small businesses right now, how they're able to help support small business owners. And then we'll have Ram and Lisa both give us a brief little introduction to the disaster loans, knowing that we're going to have a follow-up webinar just focused on the disaster loans. And then I might also just say quickly that, you know, stay tuned because everything is changing. As you heard, literally changing by the minute. I was updating a slide just a second ago before we started the call. And so I'm sure you all know that there's another bill coming out. So things are rapidly changing and we'll have more information. And as soon as we get that information, we'll be sharing it with you and then trying to structure other calls like this to really make sure we get people's questions answered one-on-one. Okay, so with that, I'll kind of jump in real quick. If you're not as familiar with our program, just really briefly, want to remind everybody that the Missouri Small Business Development Center here at Missouri State and really across the state, we are here to provide assistance to business owners at every stage from startup to growth. We do that through one-on-one consulting, through training seminars like this one. We do a lot of business planning and overall strategy. At Missouri State, we do a lot of different course projects with students. And so if you ever have a need, reach out to us. We're always having a list. And then, of course, during this time, we're doing a lot of assistance through the disaster recovery process as people are trying to figure out what your options are and just how do you navigate through this difficult time. We do all of that as a part of a nationwide and statewide network with funding through the U.S. Small Business Administration. And here in Missouri, it's through a partnership with University of Missouri Extension and, of course, Missouri State here in Southwest Missouri. Our office out of Missouri State serves a 16-county region that you can see here in blue. We have a team of 5 consultants and a lot of student staff, a training coordinator. We have a really great team. here to assist you all. And then we have wonderful colleagues around the state who I'm sure many of them are on the call today. So if any of us can be of service to you now through this difficult time, but even after this disaster, as you really start to ramp your business back up, we are here to support you in any way that we can. So reach out to us and let us know how we can help you. So with that, I will kind of sum up my piece and throw it over to Ram and Lisa to give us a brief introduction about the disaster loans as it stands at this moment, knowing that things are quickly changing.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks for hopping on this morning. We have a portal now, hopefully. Yesterday we had some issues, but today we are hoping that they're able to get those loans through. But there's a website you go to. We will post that for you. Actually, it's already, is that the one you have up? Okay. The loans are for small businesses who are facing crisis right now because of the coronavirus. The interest rate on those loans are 3.75. It's a 30-year fixed rate. The first year of payments and interest are deferred, so you don't have any payments for that first year. We're encouraging everyone to apply. There's also a nonprofit piece to it. That's a 2.75 interest rate for 30 years as well. Let's see. Right now, we, as you can imagine, we have experienced some technical difficulties, but we are continuing to ask people to just keep trying and be patient with us. The entire country is eligible for this loan. It is every state and I think every territory now. So that's a whole lot of people trying to make application. We're going to talk a little bit today, some of the lenders, about some options they have if you already have an existing SBA loan. If you have an existing SBA disaster loan, those are automatically deferred for a year. You don't need to call anyone. You don't need to make any application. That's automatically happening for you. A lot of people have asked when this loan will end. Right now, we have an expiration date of December 21st of 2020. However, if the disaster continues beyond that, then they would extend that eligibility date. Another frequently asked question we've had is how long the loan process will take. We are being told that there were already $27 million worth of loans approved. And the program's only been open a week, so they are moving as quickly as they can. They do not require collateral on loans up to $25,000. Beyond $25,000, they're going to be looking at your business assets only. They will not be looking at your personal real estate. It's not going to require any type of appraisal on your part for your home. And for your initial application, you won't need to submit anything like that. If it's a larger size loan, they may come back, you know, a loan officer may contact you to get additional information. This loan product is not going to be able to refinance your existing debt. We wouldn't be able to handle probably the amount of dollars of application we would get in that situation. So it is just to deal with the needs of your business for the next 6 months. There is not a spot on the application for you to enter how much funding you are looking for. The SBA is going to determine how much funding that you would be able to receive based on the liabilities of your company. And they're going to ask you to fill out a form we call a 4506T. That form will allow them to have access to your tax transcripts for the business for the last, I think, 3 years is what they're looking at. Having said that, this loan product is a useful product also for startups. If you don't have 3 years of business taxes, that's not going to be an issue. if you have multiple businesses and they're all under the same umbrella, they'll go under one application. If you have multiple businesses and they are under separate umbrellas or separate LLCs, then you can make multiple applications. There's a $2 million cap per business. Oh, hold on. Here we go. This loan also can be used to pay owner's salary as a part of working capital. Can pay payroll, leasing costs, any operational costs that your business may have. We want to be perfectly clear that at this point there is no talk of loan forgiveness. So this is a loan. We utilize the Treasury Department as our collection agency, so they're pretty serious about getting that funding back. If you find in 6 months or a few months that the amount of funding that you've received isn't going to be enough for your business, you can request a loan modification. That will not require a whole new application. They would just be able to roll additional funding into the original loan, and it would go into the deferment cycle. I think, Crystal, that is about all I have. Ron, would you like to add anything to that?
No, I think you covered the basics, and we have another one on Friday, which is tomorrow, where we'll talk a little more detail about these loans. But what I want to tell everyone on the line is bear with us. We're with you. We're trying to revamp our infrastructure and things like that to accommodate everyone. And it's challenging times. It's unprecedented. We did not expect anything like this. In the past, the disaster happened in a couple of counties or a few states, but now we're trying to revamp our systems and people and things like that as soon as we can to accommodate everyone. So please bear with us.
Ron, you just sent me a new link that people are seeing up on the screen right now. Can you kind of speak to, are they telling people to fill out the forms and mail them, or are we still going to try to upload those? Do you have any direction, and knowing that it's probably going to change in a few days or so?
As a matter of fact, that link had changed, so I'll send an updated one. That way everyone on the call can get the new link. Instead of paper forms, it has an offline application kind of thing. So basically, the new link has all the forms that are required. You can fill out those forms, and then there is a link to upload it. Apparently, it looks like that link is not working either, but you do have an option to physically mail it or email the filled out application forms.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so as we started to get phone calls from our small business clients, the first thing I did was I picked up the phone and I started calling our lending partners. I talked a lot to Scott at Guarantee Bank, got with Lisa and Ram, and so I thought it would be a really great opportunity to have our lenders. I know a lot of our small businesses are working closely with them to just get together and talk through what other options are out there and how they are currently working with their small business clients. And so the first thing I wanted to mention is the loan deferment, and see if Scott could kind of kick us off and talk about how that works and what they're doing. And then Mark, maybe you can jump in there as well on that topic.
Yeah. Crystal, what we're doing is, with our customers is definitely loan deferment, especially on our SBA loans, loan deferment, working with our customers the best of our ability. Most of the time what we're seeing is maybe 6 months of loan deferment, interest only, to assist that customer through a time when they're really not generating any income. Outside of the loan deferment side, SBA's kind of told us that, hey, don't forget about the 7A program. The 7A program's still there. What these customers are needing right now is a quicker turnaround time. the disaster loan's a great product, but hey, you know, sometimes depending on how long that line's getting, it's going to take a while to get through that. Just like yesterday, you know, not being able to go in, and I understand that SBA's, you know, seen an influx of applications and the website's seen an influx of people across the nation, but it's our jobs to be able to help those customers out now, and that's what we're doing.
What are you asking on the loan deferment? What are you asking from your clients if that's something that they are interested in talking to you about?
Really what we're asking right now, I mean, we understand that, like I said, the urgency of the issue, but what we're asking is really no more than what SBA is asking on their side for the disaster loan. We'd like to see, you know, hopefully we've already got their 2018 financials. They kind of like to see their profit and loss for 2019, and some of them haven't filed taxes yet. Get to that point, get your financials, and then we're kind of moving forward with the interest only. I mean, it's a new time for all of us, as far as we've never seen something like this. So, you know, the financials are going to help us support the expenses that they have and being able to push that going forward. So those financials are really helping. And then, you know, all the examiners, agencies, federal agencies, FDIC, all of them are all on board with this. And, you know, they understand that these customers are going to need that as well. So.
And are you able to look at deferment for both SBA loans and conventional loans that you might have out there?
Absolutely. And we've seen some of that. So that's conventional and that's SBA across the board. One term that's used here very frequent, especially right now, is one size doesn't fit all. One business doesn't operate the same as the next business. So, you know, we have to look at it on a case-by-case basis.
Sure. Mark, anything you want to add on the loan deferment that you guys are hearing or seeing or trying to do through Bank of Missouri?
Thanks, Crystal. Yeah, we're doing very similar things, trying to help as many existing borrowers as we can, both SBA and non-SBA clients. We are looking more at a 90-day window and doing them in 90-day increments versus 6 months. But we've also been doing some interest rate reductions when possible. The thing that borrowers need to keep in mind about SBA loans that they might not realize is a lot of them do get sold on the secondary market, similar to what most likely happened with your personal mortgage. But the difference is whenever your mortgage gets sold, usually the person whoever bought it starts, you know, servicing your loan too, and so that's where you make your payments. With the SBA loans, when they get sold, the servicing remains with the originating bank, and so the bank that did your SBA loan is still where you make your payments. And so for us to make modifications to those loans, we actually have to get approval from the investors on that. So that can take some extra time.
And so Scott mentioned a little bit about the, you know, still doing the 7A program for sure on new loans. What are you needing from clients if that's something that they're wanting to do, is look at getting a traditional loan or a new 7A loan?
Excuse me. So yeah, the 7A loan, express loans, cap lines, 504 loans, all of SBA's normal programs are still available to borrowers. As of right now, this moment in time, the application process has not changed. So we're still going to need your last 3 years tax returns, current financials, personal financial statement, you know, all the good stuff. We still have to verify your tax returns through the IRS, all those kind of things. The big question that I have right now is, you know, on a new loan request, is it going to be something that is directly COVID-19 related, or is it my business is doing fine and we were ready to expand before this happened and we're still ready to expand, kind of thing? You know, there's the requests are going to be handled a little bit differently based on what your business's situation is, which is always the case. So
And for either Scott or Mark, as people are providing the information to you for those new loans, when they are looking to project their financials, are you wanting them to project with the idea that maybe things are going to look different in the next 6 months than they had thought they might? And are you asking them to project that way? Or are you looking back at their historical and having them project forward as if their business was ongoing and uninterrupted?
I mean, I think it would be most realistic to make adjustments considering the what with everything going on and us not knowing exactly how long it's going to last. But with that, I would also recommend that they make adjustments to what they feel that they're going to need. You know, maybe with those changes, they are going to need more working capital with their loan request, and so make those changes accordingly.
I would tend to agree with that. One thing I'd almost have them look at it both ways. You know, what am I going to need going forward if this continues out, you know, 6 to 9 months? If it doesn't, okay, give me a picture of you getting back to normal. Let me see what you did prior to, and then, you know, if we can kind of cast that out, hey, here's the 6 months we were kind of down, but we feel we're going to climb back up. Because I really think it's going to take a little while for everybody to kind of climb back up. So, you know, looking at it both ways is going to kind of help us out. But additionally, you know, making sure that they've got enough working capital to be moving forward. You know, I think a lot of the requests we're going to see are really related to COVID-19 right now. For those businesses that are out there that are still doing good, which, you know, there are businesses out there, you know, we're going to be able to look at that as well. They're doing good right now for a reason. They've their niche is, you know, I don't know what that may be, but maybe they're doing good right now for a reason. If not, then they're going to be in the same position as most people and kind of at a lull.
Okay, thank you both. And then we also have microloans available to small business owners. And so I'm not sure who exactly is on from Justine Peterson. I don't think I've seen Galen yet. But if one of you could tell us about that product and who it's really designed for and what the process is to get those.
Crystal, this is Mary. Galen and Rob are both on here.
I did just see Rob's name. Maybe they're muted at the moment.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
You might need to unmute. If he's not able to, I can speak to it, but I'll let him.
Did I get?
Oh, there we go. We hear somebody.
I apologize. This is Rob Boyle. Yeah, I was muted. I apologize. Just on audio. I was saying, Mary, thank you for chiming in, and feel free to do that. I don't know if Galen Gandolfi, my colleague, is on the line or not. Again, I'm Robert Boyle with Justine Peterson. We're a CDFI, Community Development Financial Institution, and also an SBA micro lending intermediary. That means that we borrow money directly from the SBA with full recourse to Justine Peterson, and we make small loans under $50,000. We like to keep our loans under $10,000 or below for a variety of reasons. The fact is that we actually have capital available through our microloan fund currently. So I want to make that clear. We're also experiencing similar borrower issues that Mark and Scott noted. What we are attempting to do is, as they are, create deferments. One of the things we're doing, because we really want credit scores to not plummet during this event, we're asking our clients who ask for deferments, who need deferments, to consider a $10 a month payment. That way we can report to the credit bureaus that they're paying on time, and we can keep them in the system in ways that perhaps otherwise we couldn't. In addition to that, we're being very proactive in assisting, not just simply sending out the link to the SBA disaster link, but we're also have a core of Justine Peterson team who are assisting borrowers to apply for the SBA disaster funds. As Scott and/or Mark mentioned, that there is a backlog, and it's sometimes difficult to get into the system. However, we're finding that in the wee hours of the morning, we tend to get in more quickly. That's just a fact. I'm happy to answer any questions or talk further about what's happening now.
Are you doing, right now, are you doing new microloans? And if so, what are you asking of the borrowers for them to provide to you?
Yeah, good question, Crystal. The answer is yes. In fact, we're closing, I don't know, 5 or 6 microloans tomorrow. We tend to close loans on Tuesday and Friday. Yes is the answer. Now we're asking for the typical information, which is similar information as a bank would ask. But in addition to that, we want to make sure that the business owner understands her situation, is not borrowing funds that eventually may not be able to be paid back. It's not good for the borrower. It's not good for us. So we are taking an extra look and maybe having further discussion with the prospective borrower.
And how should people contact you all if they are interested in pursuing a microloan?
In the Southwest market, Mary, do you mind chiming in and giving your information? I can give mine as well, but Mary Overby is working often on behalf of Justine Peterson. So Mary, do you want to give your contact information? Would that work for you?
Yeah, that's fine. So I think a lot of you on here have it already. And I work with a lot of you who are not able to lend directly to your clients right now and act as that additional resource. So hopefully that can continue through this time. If you need to send anyone to me, my phone number is 417-501-0324, and I'll throw that in the chat box. Right now, I'm getting a lot of calls from small business owners here in Southwest Missouri and a lot of referrals from lenders for people who are needing a small influx of cash just to cover their business in this time. So right now I'm doing a lot of the under 3,000 non-collateralized loans. So just know that those are an option. We are having, like Rob said, more communication with people on how are you going to pay this back? How is the crisis going to impact your business? But definitely, we're still here. We're still here. So please do get in contact with us.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mary and Rob. So I just want to kind of open it up for a little bit of discussion. So Mark and Scott and Rob or Mary, whoever wants to kind of chime in here. So during this time that we're in, what's your best information that we can share or that others on the call can share? When should customers contact their lender?
I think right away. I mean, and here's the deal. We're trying to contact some of our customers to see, I mean, we're doing that reach out as far as our customers to see how they're doing. I mean, I think we all know that, restaurants and other typical SBA loans, and doesn't even have to be an SBA loan. We're kind of reaching out to our customers, but the customers are going to reach out to us too. I mean, as soon as they see that their business is shut down, they don't have income, I would think we would be one of their first calls. Hey, what can we do? So.
Yeah, I agree with Scott. I mean, we've been reaching out to all of our customers since the president's announcement 2 weeks ago, and trying to get as much ahead of this as we can. Please keep in mind that things are changing on a regular basis. You know, there's the stimulus bill that passed the Senate last night, that's going to have lots of provisions for small businesses. We won't know what those are until after the president signs. And so you're probably going to start seeing stuff today on what was included in the Senate's bill, but the House still has to pass it, and they are allowed to make changes. And then those changes have to be reconciled. The president still has to sign it. He still has line item veto power, so there's something in there he could take out. And then they're going to give SBA and the other government agencies involved in whatever's passed in the bill, they're going to give them a couple of weeks probably to actually implement all of those changes. So just be as patient as you can. I know that's hard whenever you're struggling, but help is on the way, I guess is what I should say.
And we talked about this.
I,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Excuse me, Crystal. No, I agree with Mark and Scott. I will say be proactive with your lender, and as open and honest as you can be. I'm finding that the lenders, the bankers here, are more than accepting of a deferment opportunity. So again, it's about being proactive on the part of the borrower. That's my suggestion.
And we talked a lot about this. What are the lending institutions doing to assist your customers? Do you have anything else, or do we kind of cover most of that?
You know, one thing that was rolled out yesterday that I think will help as well is, and Lisa knows about it, and I think she's the one that emailed me, is the express bill, the express loan that came out. So, I mean, now that's limited funds, but it's still a quicker turnaround time, and it is a bridge loan. It's called an express bridge loan, and that can be utilized and paid off with the disaster loan. So that bill's been out there a while, that notice has been out there a while being eligible, but it's just not been eligible for this particular disaster. Now that they've done the modifications as of yesterday, I believe it was eligible. And Lisa, you can correct me if I'm incorrect in that.
So that's right, Scott. They had to make some modifications to it for it to work for this type of disaster. If there are lenders on this call, we are having a call for lenders tomorrow in regards to that express bridge loan. And if your lending institution is not currently an SBA Express lender, then I'm putting my my email address in the chat box. Reach out to me and I can send you an invite to that. We are seeing several requests from lenders to get that express certification.
And so we'll continue to have more information for all the small business owners on the call about those express bridge loans, since it is now available, and those you would go through the lender, as Scott mentioned. And so we'll continue to provide information and then see how we can incorporate that into our webinar tomorrow as well. So changing things on the fly, of course. That's great. What information should customers be prepared to provide to you all quickly, so that you can help them as efficiently as possible?
I mean,
I don't have the, oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Mark.
Thanks, Scott. I mean, you know, as current as financial tools as you can provide. Obviously, we all understand that this is a unprecedented event that's having a major impact on your businesses. But the reason behind part of that is, you know, the regulatory departments that the bank answers to the changes that they are going to, allow us to make still have to be documented properly. One thing that I was going to add, one of the deferrals that we're requesting for our borrowers to fill out is that SBA's economic impact form that they sent out before the governor made their declaration, just to help us document the file as much as we can to show what impact your business has because of the coronavirus. So.
One thing I'm doing, that we're doing, trying to help our customers out is, we've been going through this and we've been monitoring different bills that are going to come through. Well, as we talk, now obviously we have 7A loans that we can still get, but they're really directing towards that disaster loan, and they're really directing towards any other disaster loans that may be out there. And the one that was open, and now we have the express bill. I'm trying to help them through that disaster website, telling them the forms that they'll need up front, especially now since the forms are out there, helping them in that way to be able to go ahead and get in line for that disaster loan. And then also helping in other ways as far as, okay, well, these are the other things we can do. As far as the other 7A loans, that's just, as Mark's mentioned, that's typical business as usual as far as the items that are needed. But as far as those, less intensive documentation deals, the express bridge loan is going to be one of them. The disaster loan's another one. Just trying to help those customers through that's what we're trying to do.
This is Mary. As for Justine Peterson, our microloan process is currently taking about 3 weeks turnaround. The quicker customers can get their information together, the quicker we can get them to underwriting. And so we ask them to provide, things like 3 months of bank statements for both their personal and their business, 2 years of tax returns for personal and business. If they don't have the business because maybe they're not incorporated, then or whatever, then providing that personal. We ask for all of your business, articles of incorporation, your EIN number. So all of your business documentation, make sure you have that together. Have a recent utility bill, have your mortgage payments or your rent, a letter from your landlord stating that you've been on time with your payments. So any of that, like I said, financial information, just know that you're looking at either a 2-year time frame or a 3-month time frame, really, with stuff, and just sort of pile it all together. The quicker you can get it to us, the quicker we can get you through the process.
Great, thank you. So what would your overall message be? And really this is for all of our lenders. What would your overall message be to the small business community, the small business owners on the call, and then others who might watch this as well? What's your message to them?
So I think at Justine Peterson, our message is, we're here to help. Micro lenders and CDFIs are really designed to excel in this type of situation because we're always here to help the customers who are not able to be helped by the banks. We are really able to, we're that intermediary, and right now banks have their hands tied in a lot of these situations, and therefore Justine Peterson is really designed to step in and help customers during this time, and luckily we're able to. The one thing we've been talking to bankers as well is remember that if we're able to do a loan now, as soon as we get out of this crisis and they're able to do a loan at that lower interest rate, they can wrap that Justine Peterson loan into it. So our goal is really to help people through this crisis and get them back to bank loan ready. Make sure that their credit isn't tanking, make sure they're able to pay their business bills. Our goal is to help you through and get you back to where you need to be, and get you back to the bank. So we're really very lucky to be able to do this in this time because of the way that our that we're set up and our infrastructure is. So we're just, we'll all get through this together, I think is the message we're sending out.
I would agree with that. One of the things I would have to, as far as for customer communication, that's the key. I mean, and across the board, just communication with your borrowers communication with the lenders. I mean, that's what's going to get us through this. And I don't know a lender out there that is not ready to help their customers. So that communication is probably the number one thing.
I would echo both of those statements. And then I think the only thing I would really add is just to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Stress weakens the immune system, and obviously we're dealing with a health pandemic. And so, make sure that you're taking care of yourself and your family appropriately as well. So.
Great, thank you guys. As people on the call have questions, please go ahead and throw them up in the chat. We're kind of at a point where we can start fielding some of those. Just a reminder, I know Scott mentioned and Mary mentioned, Rob mentioned that they are also helping people kind of through that disaster loan process, and we are doing that as well. We continue to seek guidance from the SBA, specifically Rob and Lisa here locally, and they've been a great resource for us as you have questions. They help us as they can. Of course, we're in contact with the customer service line, and that number was up earlier, and I'll make sure that you all have it as well. You can visit our website, which is up here, to schedule an appointment with any of our consultants in the Southwest region online, and that links directly to our calendars. We have more webinars coming up, and we will adjust those as things change. And so tomorrow we're talking about, on Friday, we're talking about the SBA disaster loans. We'll try to incorporate some new information about the bridge loans that are becoming available. And then we'll try to continue to gather our lending partners and resource partners as new things come available. We'll make sure to pass that along and share that information with you. And of course, we're updating our resource page on our website several times a day at this point. And so keep checking that. If you're calling into our office, we are rolling that phone number right now, but leave a message and we will get back with you. If you're needing immediate assistance, you can also email us at sbdc@missourustate.edu. And kind of our plan from yesterday, as we're getting those questions, people just have quick questions that they need answered. We'll try to kind of collect those during the day and maybe send out a video or something. We're trying to figure out how do we keep up with all those questions. And so we're trying to be innovative in how we do that. And so keep them coming, and we'll answer them as quickly as we can. We know that not everybody can wait for an appointment. And so as Mark and Scott and Mary mentioned, reach out. There's a lot of people here to support small businesses. So reach out and we will help you all as quickly as possible. Okay, let me see what questions we have here. So someone's asking for a Central Missouri contact, since it seems they might be outside of the Springfield, Southwest Missouri area. And so if you're needing assistance through the Small Business Development Center, I will send a link to everyone right after this that you can find what office or offices cover your county, so that you can click on there. SBA also has a direct link that you can find resource partners like the Missouri Small Business Development Center, no matter where you're located. And so directly after this meeting, I will share that via email with everyone that was registered, and make sure that you all get that link so that you can find the most central resource to you. And then of course, as Scott mentioned, reach out to your lenders and communicate with them.
Hey, Crystal, Kelly
Yeah.
is actually on the call from the Sedalia, Central Missouri SBDC.
Yeah.
And then for Justine Peterson, we are statewide. We also cover in Illinois and into Kansas. So I'm the contact for, you know, Central Missouri, Kelly normally funnels people into me. And then if it's not my category, like credit building, I continue funneling on to the credit building department at Justy Peterson. So feel free to reach out to me if you're in Central Missouri for micro lending.
Great. And then thank you, Ron, for putting that website up in the chat. So it is sba.gov/local-assistance. And so no matter where you're at, you can use that link to find resources in your area. And then thank you, Lisa, for mentioning in the chat that Mark has statewide coverage for the Bank of Missouri. And then of course they've got different branches in throughout the area as well. Any other questions that we can assist anybody on the call with? Any last minute comments from our lending panel?
Crystal, I was going to mention earlier, sorry, Mark.
Go ahead, Mary.
I always refer people directly to the SBDC, and especially in times of crisis. So if you're on this call and you haven't contacted your SBDC to meet with a business counselor and relook at your financial projections or develop a crisis disaster plan, they are the most phenomenal resource that you could actually ask for in this time. So make sure that you have reached out to your SBDC and connected with them.
Thanks, Mary.
Yeah, I was just gonna say thank you to you, Crystal, for putting this on and give my recommendation for SBDC as well. It's not only to help startup businesses. You know, that's kind
right.
of a reputation, but they are there to help existing businesses to grow and get through times like these as well. So
Absolutely. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Crystal, thank you for putting this on. And I'd like to echo the other remarks about the SBTDC. So.
Yeah, this is Rob Boyle. Can you hear me? I don't know. I'm not doing this technology very well. Okay, good. What I would say also, and this may sound a little bit off the wall, but I think it's something that could assist us, those of us who are borrowing money, small business people. We find that oftentimes our businesses really don't have an accounting bookkeeping partner, somebody who can assist them in the ways that the SBDC may or others. This may be a good time, as crazy as it may sound, to engage somebody. If you're not doing your business, maybe it's a good time to engage a bookkeeper who may also not be doing a lot of business. So it's just an idea to bolster the business when it comes back. We find the biggest barrier oftentimes to bringing the loans that we do to a bank is the lack of good bookkeeping accounting. We believe that even the smallest of businesses should have financials, should have a balance sheet that they can bring to anybody who asks for it. So that's just a suggestion, maybe something that could be affirmative in this crazy times.
Sure, I think that's great advice. We're constantly working with our clients, you know, trying to help them to have a good financial management system, develop accounting processes that hopefully they write down and use those, and as they grow, they have to adapt those accounting procedures and financial management processes. So I think that's wonderful advice. And we do have consultants across the state that have great expertise and many different accounting softwares. Many of our consultants across the state have really good financial management backgrounds. And so definitely reach out and we can assist you, especially as you're looking to develop those financial projections. Scott mentioned, you know, doing kind of two, and showing worst case scenario and then best case scenario, and we can help people through that process. But you have to have financial statements in order to start some of that, so we can help on that too.
Just still on that
Yeah.
note, if your business has been considering doing some type of government contracting, but there's a lot of paperwork involved in the 8A program, this may be a good time to look at that. And on that same thread, if your small business produces something that can be used in the medical realm, we'll post a phone number for Chris Eischen, and he's our procurement specialist. They're doing direct procurement. I have a lot of trouble with the word procurement. They're doing direct procurement for medical supplies and things they can use in hospitals right now from small businesses. So definitely reach out to Chris, and that might be a way for your company to make some extra income during this.
Okay, great. We'll add that information to our website as well, Lisa, if you want to send that over to me too. It's great for people to know. Okay, so not finding anything else in the chat, and want to be respectful of everybody's time. Again, I want to thank all of our small business owners who are on this call for taking the time to hop on here today. A huge thank you to all of our lending partners for taking your time. I know you're very busy and fielding a lot of calls and trying to focus on your clients. And so we really appreciate you sharing your kind of processes, your expertise with us. We have great partnerships with all of our lending partners, and you all are truly wonderful supporting your small business clients. I think, Scott, you mentioned you haven't, there's not a lender that you know of that isn't really trying to help their small business clients. And I think that's my message too, and why I wanted to get this call together. Because as I talk to our lenders, that really is the message. They're here to help you. There are going to be some cases that they're not going to be able to do as many things, but still reach out and see what's the best case scenario for your individual business. Everything is kind of case by case at this point. It looks different for everyone. And so reach out to us, reach out to your lenders, and other resource partners, and see what options are available and what might be the best option for you. And we're here to kind of help you through that process. Any last minute things? Otherwise, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Crystal.
All right, thank you guys. And I will follow up with everyone who is registered with some additional information, links that we've talked about, contact information that we've talked about. And then if you need anything else, you've got our contact information. So thank you guys, and good luck to you. Stay safe and healthy.